The ghost ship Mary Celeste. What really happened to the crew? The Mary Celeste left New York Harbor on November 7, 1872, under the command of Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs. Briggs was 37 years old, an experienced captain with a reputation for competence and sobriety. He was accompanied by his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, along with a crew of 7 experienced sailors. The cargo was 701 barrels of denatured industrial alcohol, bound for Genoa, Italy. The ship was well provisioned, in good condition, and the weather on departure was promising. Nothing about the voyage's beginning suggested catastrophe. On December 4, 1872, the British brigantine Dei Gratia encountered a vessel in the Atlantic, approximately 600 miles west of Portugal. The ship was moving erratically under partial sail, yawing as if no one was at the helm. Captain David Morehouse recognized it as the Mary Celeste. He knew Briggs personally and had dined with him before both ships departed New York. He sent a boarding party. They found the ship deserted. No crew, no captain, no wife and child. 10 people had simply vanished from a ship that was seaworthy and fully supplied. The condition of the Mary Celeste gave few clear answers about what had happened. The ship was in generally good order, not the wreck of a panicked abandonment. The cargo of alcohol was largely intact, though 9 of the 701 barrels were found empty and may have been leaking. A pump had been left sounding the bilges, suggesting recent concern about water intake. The last entry in the ship's log was November 24th, 9 days before the ship was found, and showed nothing unusual. The chronometer and sextant were missing, along with the ship's main compass and papers. The lifeboat was missing. The missing lifeboat is the critical clue. The Mary Celeste's main lifeboat was gone, and the way the railing had been damaged suggested it had been launched in a hurry. A length of rope was found trailing in the water. It appeared to have been attached to the lifeboat as a towline. If the crew launched the lifeboat and remained connected to the ship by a towline, a sudden squall or strong wind filling the ship's sails could have separated them, the towline breaking or the lifeboat capsizing, leaving the crew in the water while the ship sailed on alone. The most credible explanation for why the crew abandoned a seaworthy ship involves the cargo. 9 barrels of the industrial alcohol were found empty. Industrial alcohol in the 1870s was stored in red oak barrels, which are known to seep more than white oak. The empty barrels may have been leaking and producing fumes in the cargo hold. A non-explosive but alarming buildup of alcohol fumes could have prompted the captain to order a temporary evacuation, moving the crew into the lifeboat while the hold ventilated, remaining close to the ship on a towline. If the towline then parted, the crew was lost. The Mary Celeste mystery was dramatically amplified in 1884 when Arthur Conan Doyle published a short story called J. Habakkuk Jeffson's Statement, which presented a fictional account of the Mary Celeste presented as true. Doyle's version, which he called the Marie Celeste, introduced elements of the supernatural and sinister that were not in the actual case. The story was widely read and believed, and many of the dramatic details that entered popular knowledge about the Mary Celeste, full meals on the table, a cat sleeping undisturbed, sewing left unfinished, were fictional inventions by Doyle that became attached to the actual incident. The fate of the Mary Celeste after its discovery is its own story. The ship was found by the Dei Gratia and brought into Gibraltar, where a salvage hearing was held. The British authorities were suspicious. The abandonment made no sense to them, and they suspected foul play by the Dei Gratia's crew. No charges were ever brought, but the salvage award to the Dei Gratia was notably small, suggesting the authorities remained suspicious. The Mary Celeste went through several owners over the following years, developing a reputation as an unlucky ship. It was eventually deliberately wrecked in Haiti in 1885 as part of an insurance fraud scheme. 10 people sailed into the Atlantic on the Mary Celeste in November 1872. The ship arrived without them. The most credible explanation is mundane: alcohol fumes, a cautious captain, a lifeboat, and a broken towline. But mundane explanations rarely satisfy when 10 people simply vanish. The Mary Celeste is a test of our tolerance for incomplete explanations, for the fact that sometimes people disappear and the most likely reason is not supernatural but merely tragic and ordinary. The ship kept sailing without them. The ocean kept the rest.